The only time it was ever brought up was when I was like curled over on the floor in pain. And mom would be like, "You want some Tylenol? I can
Yeah.
give you some Tylenol." Like that was it. But like period kits and like celebrations and all that, like that wasn't a thing. Hey everyone, welcome back to Love SND. Today's episode is all about girl problems. We're talking hair removal, puberty, periods, all the things Desi moms never really talked to us about or did, but maybe only after it was too late. I'm joined by my sister Nina, mom
Hi,
of
everyone.
3 daughters, ages, oh God, I 14, 12, and 8.
9.
Oh, so close.
One day.
One day. All right. So Nina is currently in the thick of raising strong, beautiful, emotional, hairy little women. From threading upper lips to navigating crop tops and colorism, which Mama Vade, we're getting into all the awkward, hilarious, important moments that come with parenting girls, especially brown girls in today's world.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. Neen,
Mm,
hair.
mm.
What age did the girls start asking you to start shaving or threading or whatever?
So I think that little girls can be really mean, and I don't
Yeah.
know where that behavior stems from because they're not born like that. So either it's intentional or not intentional, and sometimes it's just asking, "Oh, why do you have so much hair on your legs?" or
Mm-hmm.
"Why do you have hair on your upper lip?" and things like that. I will say that the conversations started in 4th grade, which seems
Oof.
really, really young and tiny little people that are still just navigating, how
Yeah.
do I sit still for a whole school day? And
Yeah.
now they're having to worry about things like this. And needless to say, it goes on and on for the rest of your adult life until, you old and you don't care anymore. So the conversation started in 4th grade about, oh, why do I have hair on my legs? Can I get rid of the hair on my legs? Why do I have hair
Yeah.
on my arms? And on and on and on.
I feel like it's much earlier than when
Yeah.
we were even allowed to think
I
about
feel
it.
like I remember the first comment around 7th grade.
Mm.
So
I
7th
remember
grade
it
is
in
like
high school.
high school.
Yeah.
See, I remember 7th grade, and that's like you're 12, 13-ish. 4th grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, you're only like 8, 9 years old.
Yeah.
That's like literally you're still an infant. I don't know.
Yeah. I I remember I think I only really started thinking about the hair on my body when a person made a mean comment.
Exactly.
I know you're not letting them like shave their arms or like anything on their face, obviously. You also posted something about this on Love Nina and Nani, and people went nuts, right? Like people
Yeah.
were like, "What are you doing? Tell me everything."
Yeah.
So when did you actually start letting them do stuff?
So I think middle school was when I had to just let it be because they have enough emotional stuff that they're trying to navigate in terms of, again, puberty,
Yeah.
coming into their own, managing friendships, all those things that something that's going to eventually be taken care of in their lifetime anyway, like hair on their body, like
Yeah.
whatever. It's at this point, as long as they're doing it safely, it's fine. I will
Yeah.
say that Naya had a friend who was Brazilian, who came over one day and was like, just shave your legs. And Naya was like, in her head, she was like, okay, I got to get in the shower. And it's like this whole like process. And she's like, no, just like slather your leg with lotion and just shave. And I'm like, okay, that happens now.
No. That makes me so sad that like it was her friend and not you.
Well,
That
but
was
I
like
think in some ways, it's a good thing because like we all needed those friends who taught us things that our parents were never going to teach us.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
I wasn't ever going to tell her to slap lotion on her legs, dry shave. Like what? What's up with this nonsense?
Bichari.
They
Oh.
do.
Okay, so then when did you start letting her do eyebrows and like upper lip and all that? Well, was
So
that the
upper lip
start of
again.
shaving her legs?
Sorry.
Was that the start of shaving her legs?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's when that all started.
Okay.
I want to say this was around spring of sixth grade was when they got really cautious. Like they wouldn't wear short sleeves or tank tops because of their arms.
Oh.
So, I took them to whatever wax place that wasn't at
Yeah.
home because it was the first time I was like so
Yeah.
nervous. But now I do it for them at home. So like whatever.
Yeah.
And then with the upper lip, um, I was told that if you want to laser,
Mhm.
you shouldn't really be waxing and threading because it's pulling the cuticle out. Then I also learned as you pull the hair out, it strengthens the cuticle. So it's the opposite direction that you're trying to go in.
Okay.
So we got that flawless. It's like a shaver, but it's like a depiller. Like when you get your clothes or sofa gets those pills on it and you
Yeah.
just use that little round thing. It's
Yeah.
like that, but for facial hair. So I just let them do their upper but that's what
You
I
know what
compare it
that
to.
you know what that reminds me of? Do you remember the butter?
The what?
The butter.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
the like rock
Yeah.
that we
The
used to
rock.
use
The
to
rock.
get rid
Pumice
of the
stone.
hair.
The
Huh?
pumice stone.
Yeah. I don't even know what it was actually called.
That it was called a pumice stone. Yeah.
But I remember that was the only thing that we were allowed to use to get rid
Yeah.
of the hair on our body
Yeah.
was the butter.
Which
Butter
essentially is
ticker.
like a
Butter ticker.
depiller, right? Because you're just breaking the
Exactly.
top layer
Exactly. It's
of what you can see.
essentially shaving. I don't
Essentially, but
understand.
so much more painful because we would
So
come out red
painful.
as tomatoes. Oh my God, it was such a
Oh
disaster.
God, I can remember it was like this oval gray thing. It was
I still have one
awful.
in my
Do
shower.
you?
Yeah, I haven't touched it in probably 10 years, but it's there to remind me the hardships. Um, yeah, so we got this thing, and then my plan is that at some point during high school, I want to explore laser for just
Yeah.
everything, just laser everything. I don't really care
Yeah.
anymore.
Have you talked to like dermatologists and
Yeah,
things like
yeah.
that about what the appropriate
Yeah, they say once
age
they
is?
start puberty, wait a year for
Okay.
like the hormones to balance out,
Okay.
and then it's safe because it just goes under the superficial layers up to the cuticle and like basically like burns it, like burns the cuticle
Mm.
until it stops growing. I don't know. And then like the second one, right, is going to start sooner than the first one. So
And
there's
Nessa's
that.
gonna be like not far behind, girl.
Yeah, she literally probably would take it tomorrow if she could. Freaking nonsense. That's like
Give her the
the
butter.
picture I sent you this morning. Tell me you have older sisters without telling me you have older sisters. This chick came down in her
Alright.
little skirt, her matching crop tank, a hoodie
A
sweatshirt on
hoodie.
top, and her hair slicked back in a bun. I was like, you 9. Stop it right now.
It's so funny
Oh,
because I see those girls in like Diab's class, and I'm like, you can easily pick out who has an older sibling and who does not.
literally. Sometimes I'm like, oh, Nessa, it's a cute outfit. Maybe I should get it. She has a really good fashion sense. What can I say? I don't
I
have it, but she
love
has
it.
it.
I love it. They all do. In
I
their
get
own
it.
way, they all do.
Yeah,
Like Neva wears the cutest little sporty outfits. I'm like, you're so
I
cute.
know. But I think clothing is a whole nother realm of teenage girl, any age life that's just so brutally painful.
I agree. Let's talk about that because, oh God, we had that conversation with Naya about wearing like two-piece bathing suits, and it was so hard on my soul. I don't even know how you do it on a daily basis. Like, how are you navigating two-piece bathing suits?
So we have a lot of rules in our house when it comes to clothing
Yeah.
that usually they want something that's very older, like very much older fashion, like
Yeah.
when you're in your 20s, mid 20s.
Like,
And I'm
yeah.
like, that's inappropriate for your age group. So what we do is they tell me what they want, then I tell them what I want, and then they
Which is
have
a
to find a
burqa.
compromise, which is literally like what like Baz would wear. It's literally like tutu one pieces with like frills here and frills there. They're like, oh my God. So anything is better than that.
Like, forget it.
It's
Oh,
quite
here's a
fun.
tankini.
Yeah. Oh God. You gotta go extreme sometimes. Like if
You
they're
do.
going extreme, I'm gonna go extreme. It has to be that way. And then I'll tell them to find a compromise. And so usually the compromises will be cowl necks or thicker straps or
Yeah.
a little bit longer length or whatever it is in that bucket that they want.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the 8th grade dance dresses, like if we can just talk a minute about these ridiculous things that are happening. So apparently in 8th grade, girls call either a dress or a color, and then nobody else in the grade can get those. And then 2 months later, she was like, I need a new dress. I was like, oh, hell no. I just burned 4 months of my brain cell power buying this dress. You think I'm going to do that all over again? Oh, and
But
then she's like, I
also
need a
that
graduation dress. I was like, oh, I quit. I quit.
the initial 8th grade dress
Mm,
also was like a huge compromise on your part. Like, it
100%. It was a
is this
huge
like
compromise.
skin tight, like,
The ruchy,
yeah.
ruche nonsense.
Something I can't even imagine you would have even looked at when you were in 8th grade.
That's what I'm saying. These girls, and I keep reminding mine at least, that you need to have some stuff that you're looking forward to doing when you're older. Like the
Yeah.
whole hair highlight thing.
Mm,
I get it. I get you want to highlight your hair because it looks so pretty. And you see all these people that you follow on social
yeah.
media with like all these pretty highlights. And we have
Yeah.
this like dense, dark
Yeah.
black hair. I
Yeah.
get it. But if you do it now when you're 14, what do you have to look forward to? You're going to look the
Yeah.
same from like now until end of eternity.
Yeah. But it's
So
also
like,
really hard because all of their friends are doing it and it's like they're the only ones who aren't allowed. And it's like I remember being there, like not being able to do some of the things that like, the not Indian girls were doing.
yeah,
Because like I feel like all the Indian girls were pretty much in the same boat. Like their parents weren't letting them do anything.
they were like hard
But
no.
yeah. But and so we didn't even ask. Like
Mm.
at least Naya asks. Like she shoots her shot.
And then
But
not only does she ask, she sends you and Sheena
yeah.
pictures of what highlights she's going to get and
Yeah.
how they're going to look. And I'm like, huh,
One day.
one
I
day.
even said, I was like, is this happening? And she's like, no, not anytime soon, but one day. I'm like, girl, the fashion's gonna be like, it's gonna be like neon pink by the time you're allowed to do
I
it.
actually would love that. I think that's really cool.
Of course you do. Of course
Of
you
course I do.
do.
But then, so, okay, fine. We go from hair
Yeah.
highlights to now it's 8th grade dance and graduation weekend. I want to get gel tips. I'm like, girl, we did not get gel tips
Mm,
till we got married, maybe a little bit
yeah.
before that. Like, it was not a thing. And
No.
now these like 6th graders have gel tip nails. I
Which are
find
not
it,
cheap.
huh?
Which are not cheap. So like they
No,
have did nails all the time. And I'm like, who is paying for these nails?
I know. And so, like, I get it, to each his own. Like, if moms want to do that with their kids, like, go for it.
Yeah.
So the compromise was that she gets to do it one time for this weekend and then we'll revisit in 10th grade. And she
Hmm.
agreed. I
Damn.
think some of it is just like that thing of experiencing it and then they're over it,
Yeah. No, I think that's fair.
right?
I
It's
think
just
that's
like,
fair. It's almost like because you're not allowed to do it, you want to do it even more.
right,
So it's like, but once you've done it, then it's like, okay, this wasn't all that it was cracked out to
right.
be.
But like, my thing is, how come now in 2025 they have to pick the most expensive things?
Yeah, I don't know.
Highlights, gel nails.
I
What?
know.
A
I
new
don't
pair of
know. And
shoes
it
for every
might,
dress they need for every occasion. I'm like, oh, hell no.
I know. It also might be where you live. And like, that's just like
Yeah.
the thing to do where you live. I don't know what the situation here is.
Well,
I
I
just
tried to tell Neil we need to move, like, out of this
out of this
country.
country.
I was like, "I'm done here. I'm
Yeah.
done with all of this." He's like, "Where are you gonna go?" Like, "I don't care.
Wait, I
Take you
want
where."
to talk to you about another like big thing I think that we as parents go through in our generation, but our parents didn't necessarily really address with us, which is like getting your period for the first time,
Mm,
right? Like I have a vivid memory of it happening. And I remember you walked in and you were like, "Oh, you got your period?" And then you went like screaming out the door and you're like, "Mom, Dad, she's a woman now." like,
I have
like
fish brain, I don't
literally.
remember.
But that was it. That was the acknowledgement that I got my period and never ever spoken of again. And the only time it was ever brought up was when I was like curled over on the floor in pain. And mom would be like, "You want some Tylenol?" I can
Yeah.
give you some Tylenol. That was it. But like period kits and celebrations and all that, that wasn't a thing. So what is happening now? How did you prepare them? Like, was there a prep conversation? Like, what was it?
Yeah, I think I started talking to them about it in 4th grade. I mean,
Okay.
with Nessa, she's heard all of it like
Yeah.
100 times, so
Yeah.
she like, she'll be fine. But
Yeah.
with the older 2 in 4th grade, I started telling them we made little kits, but it wasn't, you know how like they sell these kits and they're like all elaborate and stuff. I was
Yeah,
like, you
like
need a
blinged
pad and a
out.
liner. Go. Like, whatever, just have it in your backpack. Like, it doesn't need to
Yeah.
be this production. And I remember one of my friends telling me like their daughter got they started their period, and she's like, we like celebrated, we took her out for ice cream. It was like this whole
Yeah.
big to do. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, move on. This is for the rest of your
Like,
life.
ma.
But for me, it's just like a very medical
Yeah.
happening. It's not like, I don't know, like when you graduate, yes, we will celebrate you because you worked really hard towards something. This is
Yeah.
just part of your natural being. Like,
Yeah.
keep it
100%.
moving.
I cannot imagine making such a big deal about it, but I feel like the mental preparation of like, okay, this might happen any day now. Like
Yeah,
here's like a couple of things you can do to be prepared, but
exactly.
also like if it happens in school, here's everything you need to handle this situation.
Yeah,
Like that would have been nice.
yeah. No,
You know?
100%. And I was like, go to your school nurse. If like anything's wrong, just go to your school nurse. I'm not going to pick you up. You're just going to carry on your day, and then I'll see you when you get home.
I'm not gonna pick you up.
I'm not going to pick you up. It's fine. You'll be fine. Do you know how many hard things they're going to have to deal with in life? This is not one of them.
I'm dead. I'm not picking you up.
I think
Ain't nothing
I
bringing you
went
home
too
from
extreme.
school.
Huh?
It's like there's nothing that's gonna bring you home from school.
No. Like, unless I can see bones, that's
Oh
literally it.
God, you're so awful.
I know. This is an outcome of being in a PICU and an ER in very
Yeah,
low income communities and seeing what real emergencies are.
yeah.
I'm just like a
It's
hard
so
knock
funny
wall.
because like I feel like me and Sheena were so much more excited for Naya and Eva than you
I
were.
know. But for me, it was just medical. I'm like, okay, you have
Yeah,
cramps, take some Motrin. Done. Move
yeah.
on.
Oh, don't you baby them a little bit? Like, oh, it happened. No,
Mm,
no, that none of that's
that's not
happening.
me. It's not me.
I feel like there is a lot of conversation that revolves around like just beauty standards. Like we talked about hair removal, right? We talked about the clothes, but there's also like and I mentioned this again only because mom is constantly in my head and I go for walks every day and I hold an umbrella because I don't want to get dark. And it's like stuck in my head that like I shouldn't be getting dark. Like now it's more of like, oh God, like so many things have to change if I get darker, like, my concealer and
Yeah.
like,
Or like
just
skin
like
cancer and all those things like that are real. Yeah.
all the things, right? We know so much, but even when we were younger, mom was so crazy about us getting dark. I don't even remember going to the beach, to be honest. That wasn't part of our life, and we grew up in New Jersey, 30 minutes from the shore. It just wasn't a normal part because again, mom just didn't want to sitting out in the sun. Even going to Great Adventure, it was like when you get a chance, you stand under a tree. You don't,
Mhm.
hang out in the sun. I know how you are with the girls. The girls are a free for all, but sunscreen is a must. Like, do
Yeah.
not step out of this house without sunscreen on.
Literally every day to school, their face, their arms, their legs, whatever's going to be exposed for the day, get
Yeah.
sunscreen. And I think that's not for not getting dark. That's
Yeah.
more for skin health, right?
Exactly.
Because we've seen a lot of people who, like even you, right? I think developed all these freckles
Yeah.
and like all this stuff, which is all sun damage.
Later on in life.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you can't do anything about it, right? Like once
No.
it's there, it's there.
And
So I'm
that's the
like,
thing, right?
if yeah, go ahead.
Our skin health wasn't health, it was skin color.
Mm,
Now skin health is don't get skin
yeah,
cancer or
right.
like
Yeah,
these
yeah, yeah.
sunspots and things like that. It's not about darkness,
Yeah.
which is like a huge shift in mentality.
Yeah. And I remember mom being like, don't send them to camp. Like,
Mhm.
karate
Still.
does it. Like,
Still.
they'll burn their skin. And I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, my kids are going to go to camp. I was like, they'll shed in the winter. They'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
But yeah, we
it's
don't really put a big emphasis on it. But I will say that there is this sort of subconscious thinking of like, I just sent you that Instagram reel about we were never as humans meant to see ourselves or our own reflection. It
Mhm.
was other people's perception of you, and you were an experience. And I think that's really powerful because when I think about myself now as a grown adult and I go into these situations where I might be the only colored person in the room, which
Mhm.
happens very often, as it does with you as well,
Yep.
I just think I don't see myself differently. I don't see myself as a colored person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's not how I define myself, that I'm the only South Asian in the room.
Yeah.
But then when a colleague will point it out,
Yeah.
then all of a sudden it becomes part of my feeling comfortable or my feeling included or me
Yeah.
feeling like I belong. So I think that now with like the whole skin color thing, I mean, we don't even really talk about skin color because all our kids have been born here and raised here 100%.
Mhm.
So they see themselves as their peers
Yeah.
until that day comes when somebody points it out to them that they're different, you
Yeah.
know? But I think it's a good way to switch the narrative for our kids especially, that
Mhm.
it's not about the way you look or the clothes you wear or if you're hairy or not hairy. It's who are you when you present your energy in a room full of people? Are
Yeah.
you the kindest one? Are you the most helpful person? Do you have something intellectual to say? Have you
Yeah.
experienced something in your life that you can then talk to in that situation? And
Yeah, yeah,
those
yeah.
are the things that make you who you are, not what you're wearing, not what you look like, not the
Yeah.
makeup brands you're wearing.
Yeah.
Like, do we want a tangent on freaking makeup right now? Because Ulta and
Do we?
Sephora are probably at an all-time high with
Yeah.
all these little tweeny boppers out
Yeah.
of control. Why do they need a $54 drunken elephant, something or another, that their skin doesn't even need?
I don't know. I know
I
because they have
know.
this beautiful raw skin. It's like, why? Why do you want to put stuff on it? Just put some Nivea on and go to school.
Literally the germs. I've talked to like 6 of them now at this
Yeah.
point, trying to get the point through to the girls that
Yeah.
all you need is a gentle face wash and gentle cream and
Yeah.
sunblock. And that's all your teenage skin needs. And then every day I get asked, how do I make the pimples go away? I'm like, drink water. How much water do you drink? None. Okay, so your pimples aren't going anywhere. They're going to stay right on your face.
But also, it's a part of life, right? Like they're going through puberty. We all went through this
We
stage
all
in
went
life.
through it. Yep.
Like it's just I know it sucks and society tells us that we need to hide them at all costs, but like
Yeah,
it's just a part of freaking life.
I know.
And like now
And
they sell those like star patch
I
things that
know.
like are acceptable to walk out of the house. But like just go with your pimple.
Yeah,
The
it's so
sticker
ridiculous.
is ridiculous.
I know. And then I think what's even worse are all these filters that like blur you to look like you have zero imperfections. I'm like,
Yeah.
again, too much.
Too
It's
much.
not realistic. And it's
100%.
it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. Like, whether you have flawless skin or you have imperfect skin, it's not about that. It's about who you are and what
Yeah.
you're bringing into this lifetime. Like, it's not just about looks, which is like, how do you tell a teenager that? I don't
You
even know.
cannot. You cannot. I mean, honestly, and I say this all the time, like, I wish we could give them a looking glass, right?
I know.
Of when they're 40 and they're looking back and none of this shit matters. It's just they're in it and they're so deeply in it that it's like you
I know.
can't bring them out. And Neen, I think the reason why maybe the three of us got through it maybe a little more seamlessly is because mom wasn't so hyper involved. She wasn't buying us the skincare we
Yeah.
wanted. She wasn't talking to us about pimples and hair and all that stuff. Like it just wasn't a conversation. We had to figure it out with what we had in our home, and that
Yeah.
was it. Like we weren't even allowed to. There wasn't a. Was there a Sephora? I don't even know.
N- No, I don't think so.
Exactly. Like it wasn't. It just wasn't a thing.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like
But
maybe we're just over parenting in that.
yeah,
Like you know what? Figure your shit out. Like. Diav, I told you, right? Like Diav plays baseball and he sweats like crazy. So he's getting all these little pimples. And I was like, you know what? Just so that maybe we're practicing better hygiene, I'm going to buy you a super gentle
right.
face wash.
Yeah.
And now he's like, I have to wash my face. I have to wash my face. And I'm like, shit, did I mess up? Because he's obsessive about washing his face after baseball. And
Yeah.
the point was better hygiene, but now he's like noticing the pimples. Like, I probably shouldn't have made such a big deal about it.
I know. But you know what? It's like you can't win.
I
You do something,
know.
you beat yourself up. You don't do something, you beat yourself up.
I
In our house, we
know.
have a lot of figure it out. Just figure it out. Like
Yeah.
I'll do as much as I can or I want to, and then you
Yeah.
need to learn some of these coping skills because guess what? You're going to be in college in 4 years and I'm not going to be there.
I know. I
You
know. I
know?
honestly it's such a problem even in our house, right? Like and I feel like we overparent way too much. We're just constantly trying to fix problems that may not even exist, but we see an issue and we're like, let's try to fix it. And it's more me than Such. I know that. Such is more of a laid back, day by day things will get figured out. But baseball is a perfect example. Like Diav is in a slump, which literally every child goes through. He's just having a hard time hitting right now. So I talked to him and I was like, listen, there you have two options. Either you ride out the season with whatever you've got going on. It is what it is. Or we spend the money and we get you a hitting coach. And so obviously he's like, I want the hitting coach. Cause
Yeah.
I'm like, of course, what costs money? But it's like the two options should have been you go the way you're going or you practice every single day on your own and figure it out.
Yeah.
Why I felt the need to go out and find a hitting coach and make sure, like, that's my ego that I'm concerned
Agreed.
with, right? That's me. That's my problem that I'm sitting amongst all these parents and my son can't hit when he gets up to bat and all the other kids are hitting. That's a me problem. He doesn't give a shit. He walks away like, okay, struck out. Like,
But I
okay.
think that's part of our generation's problem is that
Yeah.
we feel like our kids' accomplishments equals our success,
Yeah.
but we're not giving them the opportunity to build that resilience, that grit, that perseverance, all the qualities it takes
100%.
to fail and get up, fail and get up.
Yeah.
It's like, you failed, let me solve the problem. You failed, let me solve
Yeah.
the problem. We can't raise a generation like that. It's gonna like bite us in our own ass.
I know. I know. The funny thing is I'm not like that about school at all.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to academia, that's when I'm like, you figure it out. Like you need to know how to learn. When it comes to social things like sports and just having friends and things like that, like I am all hands on,
Yeah.
which is probably the wrong way to be.
You know, a big thing that we're teaching the girls right now is like, they'll come home and be like, "Oh, I'm so stressed out about, oh, I'm so nervous about," right? Whether it's a test or getting onto the volleyball team in high school, whatever
Yeah.
it is. And I'm like, stress and nerves are there to provide you the reminder that you need to practice harder. That's
Hmm.
it. I'm like, preparation gets you there, not nerves and stress. That does nothing for
Yeah.
you. So if you're nervous or stressed about something, it's just a reminder that you need to prepare more,
Yeah.
prepare harder, prepare smarter,
Or
whatever it
that you
is.
can, like, there's still opportunity to do that. Take this stress and convert it into action, right?
Right. Because it doesn't
And
do anything for you. Same that
yeah.
that probably is probably true for you too. You
Yeah.
stress about everything.
Everything. Everything. Literally, we
Everything.
just went to my judges conference and we had this class on AI and misinformation about AI. And let me tell you, I walked away so much more anxious as a parent because they were like, now what they can do is they can replicate your child's voice and call you and say, Mommy, I've been kidnapped. I need you to send me money. And just the thought of that, in therapy, we learn just think about the probability of things happening before you start. Give it the right amount of attention. If it's a point 0.1 probability of this happening in your life, give it point 0.1 of your stress. If it's like a 90% probability of something happening, give it 90% of your stress. And so I'm like, now this is 100% of my stress, but the probability is point 0.1,
Yeah.
right? But like, and then they're like, you need code words and code phrases and like you need to make your children aware of this stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to pass on that shit to them.
No, but like
Are you
we used to
passing
have
this on?
code words with the girls since they were like 2,
Yeah.
right?
But
About
more of like, I
anything.
need to get picked up, right? Like, pick me up.
Even if it was that, or if like we were coming home and we were knocking from the outside, we
Yeah.
would have to say the code word to get in.
Yeah.
If anything where it was like a conversation where we were not near each other, the code word would confirm that that's who you're talking to.
Hmm.
So I think the code word is good for everything in life. Like
Yeah.
it should be private. It should just be between your family unit. Like you guys
Yeah.
don't know it, and Sheena's family doesn't know it.
Yeah.
Grandparents don't know it. It's just the 5 of us that know it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's important, especially as they get older. They get more independent. Now they're
Yeah.
riding their bikes somewhere, or they're coming home on the bus alone, and all these things. It's just like in that scenario you just presented, like AI bot is doing
Yeah.
this. You have 2 options, right? Like, okay, fine, tell me our code word so I know that I'm talking to you, and they won't know. Or I'm gonna hang up and call you right back. And then when you do that and he picks up and he's like, Mom, I'm in class, stop calling
Yeah.
me. Then you're like, okay.
Yeah. She was saying how there are measures that you can take. For example, giving them the watches where you can just like, it's almost like your own peace of mind.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side of that, it's you're also feeding into the anxiety of not knowing where your kid is. Whereas,
Yeah.
how did our
Like
parents
that's
do
like
this?
my mother-in-law tracks the boys still. And I'm like, that's just feeding your own anxiety. Like, don't do it. I,
Yeah.
I refuse to share my location. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
if you need to know where I am, I'll let you know.
Yeah. But you also never pick up your phone.
I know. I never pick up my phone. It's okay.
Totally different topic. Have you guys had conversation about like boys and sex and like all that stuff with them?
The older two, yes. And like even now, like when they're eating and they're like a hot mess, I'm like, do XYZ. Your future boyfriend will thank you. I'm like, I don't need you to be sloppy.
Yeah, for real.
Like
Get it
crumbs
together.
everywhere. I'm like, what is happening here? Um, I mean, it's natural, it's inevitable. Neil and I met summer before senior year. Like, they're gonna
That's
have a
crazy.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
It's fine. We
Yeah.
try to now teach them, find people who fit within our family values. So
Yeah.
that's what we're hoping, aiming, praying for, that whoever they choose to date in 10th grade onwards,
Yeah.
that it'll be good people at least. It's not going
Yeah.
to last a lifetime. That's fine, but
Yeah.
just be good people. That's all.
Yeah. Have you talked to them about sex?
Yeah,
Just like,
it's
don't
not.
do it.
It's not a thing. It's not a thing until you get married. No, I'm just kidding. Um, it's all about just be safe, be safe. And we remind them, we're like, you're a girl, you have more to lose. Because what can
Yeah.
happen in that scenario?
Yeah.
One person can be stuck,
Walk away. Yeah.
yeah, and one person will walk away.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's be
Yeah.
very
I feel
smart
like
about
my
your
kids are
body.
the existence of my kids is probably birth control for all of the older kids. I'm like, we don't want that.
But you know what?
We
I
don't want
don't
it
think they
anytime
don't
soon.
see it like that, right? Like they don't see your kids as their kids. Like, they're
Yeah.
still ours are still young enough and yours are still old enough where they're still siblings. It's not
Yeah.
like
But
there's
it's
no, like,
almost like
baby in the house.
yeah, yeah,
The crying and the throwing up and the poopy diapers, like, we don't have
yeah,
that right now.
yeah.
So,
But it's also just like the chaos.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like keep keep your house chill, girl.
Word.
All right. Honestly, raising girls is not for the faint of heart, especially when you're trying to undo some of the stuff that we've learned. We are still trying to undo some of the
Yeah.
stuff that we learned so that we can pass on more healthier habits to our kids now, right? Okay, well, a huge thanks to Neen for keeping it real and for surviving girlhood again.
Surviving. We're just barely floating above water right now.
It's so funny because I literally think that you were the mom of us three, and now you're the mom of your own three. And it's like all the adjustments that you must have to make in life right now. I do not envy.
I know. You know what though? These kids came into the world being the humans they were gonna be. It's
Mhm.
just our job to make sure they're the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
And so whether that means being really strict and still saying no to Snapchat,
Yeah.
even though it's the only thing that's preventing her from being invited to this pre-party for the 8th grade dance, but holding a firm because she's like, "Just give it to me for this." And I'm like, "You know what? That's a
Mhm.
floodgate."
Yeah.
And we talked about 10th grade, so we'll revisit in 10th grade. This is still not the hardest thing you'll have to do.
Yeah.
And that grit, that ability for delayed gratification, all of that will serve them well when they get older. And so
Yeah.
we just have to keep our eye on the prize, give them good values, and pray.
Yeah. Literally. Literally.
Yeah. And they're good kids. Just raising good,
They
kind kids,
are
like,
good kids.
it's enough, man. There's so much negativity in this world. Like, good,
Yeah.
kind kids are a good thing.
All right. Well, as always, we are here
Let
to
us
answer.
know how you're doing things, how you're
Yeah.
surviving tweenage dumb.
Yeah. All you girl moms need to chime in because
Yeah.
it is a struggle. I have a
Yeah.
4-year-old and I already feel like she's 14.
I know.
And obviously, Nina has her own problems, which you're handling
Word.
like a champ. So
And if I have to look at one more Princess Polly dress, I swear to God, I'm done. It's a
I don't
wrap.
even know what Princess Polly is.
Neither did I.
Help.
Neither did I.
All right. Well,
All
let
right.
us know if you liked the episode by commenting, liking, subscribing, doing all the things you wonderful people do to support your girls. You can find us on YouTube where you can watch. We're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and we are always on Instagram answering questions, DMs, comments, whatever you've got for us. We love you all for listening and being so incredibly supportive of us. We will catch you on the next episode. Till then, with love, S&D.